What would you rather be? An individual or a free thinker? You can't be both. You have to choose. This is not hypothetical. You seriously have to choose. I'm being totally fucking serious here. You have to choose because they're two very different things. Now let me explain. An individual is a person who is quite unlike most or all other people. Now, a free thinker is one who thinks freely without any influence or without a great influence on the way that he thinks. Not a lot of things don't alter that person. But if you are to be an individual, now this is the reason you have to choose. If you are to be an individual, you'd have to steer clear of all existing forms of thought. And in order to do that, you'd have to change yourself. You have to change yourself as a result of what already exists. So therefore, you can't be a free thinker. But you are, however, an individual. Congratulations. So, free thinker or individual? You can't be both. You can't be both. Now, the drawback with a free thinker is that you may freely think your way to something that's very popular, possibly very even mundane, something you normally wouldn't want to be associated with a greater part of, yet you can't help but thinking it. For example, I used to be very, very goth. I had individual meanings and purposes for everything I wore that made me goth. Collar, the hair, which the color pretty much remains, the clothes, it all had a specific meaning. And it all just kind of added up to be extremely goth looking. And I couldn't help that. But I didn't like to be called goth because I didn't want to be thought of as conforming to a specific group, especially since I eluded some of the key goth stereotypes. But that's the way I wanted to be, and I wasn't going to change because it was clearly very goth looking, and I was like, fuck it. If I'm goth, I'm goth. Some theorize I'm still a little goth. So, well, as a result of free thought, I thought myself to that general position, or at least way of presenting myself. I was clearly not an individual because many others are like that. So what would you rather be? An individual or a free thinker? Personally, me, I would rather be a free thinker because you have to try to be an individual. Something that you have to try to be, I think, is something that is not naturally yourself. And if you're not naturally being yourself, then that's not really you. But if you're naturally an individual, then go nuts. It's just that you can't intentionally arrive at being an individual without foregoing some amount, or a vast amount, of free thought. That's all I gotta say. And this is me now. I'm not wearing a shade of black. This is gray. And I'm wearing jeans. I never would have worn jeans before. Never. Never.